Hey there folks, welcome back to another video. Today we are taking a look at something pretty cool. Actually, it's not really a review, it's more of a process video. We have a pretty cool custom in the works. Obviously you would already know what it is by clicking on the video. But yeah, so let's go ahead and unbox it. And I do want to go ahead and mention something else to the side. We have a couple more of these Daredevils on the in the works. The ones that you see in the background are my personal copies that I have some plans for. This one right here and these two are figures for some customers. They are going to get the Shadowland treatment. So if you guys are at all interested in getting something similar to this, just message me on Instagram at the realcox_studios, or message my email at coxstudios21@gmail.com if you guys are interested in getting that. Actually, let me show you guys what it looks like real quick. Alrighty, so if you haven't seen any of the videos that I've done on this guy, then go check them out. But this is what I'm talking about. These guys right here are going to be getting this treatment, except one of these are actually going to be all black, but that's the plan for these. A big thanks to this set of videos that I did on this guy, because it's helped me get, it's helped me reach over 1,000 subscribers. Just a few weeks ago I was at, I think, 750, and now I'm over 1,000 subscribers. I've gotten some business from this. I've gotten some good momentum on YouTube, so wanted to state that real quick. But moving those out of the way, don't worry, this is relevant, at least adjacent. Let's go ahead and crack this open. Well, actually, it's not relevant to what's in the box, but it's relevant to what we're going to make. But yes, let's go ahead, pick this up. I got this on eBay. Funny story with how this came about. I guess I'll say that after. Whoa! What a sweetheart. Oh, that's great. I love that. Some Sour Patch Kids. One of my favorites. We got ourselves a nice little letter here. It's definitely going to have to get. So this is where I got it. The Grey Woods Cat on eBay. So check them out. I scratched off their, well, I pulled the whole shipping label off, but I guess that is their store. So check them out there. That's great. I love that. So who's what do we got? We have Terminator Dark Fate. This is from 3-0. This is obviously a 1/12 scale figure. The whole idea of getting this figure is because I have a very specific plan. I want to make Jon Bernthal's Punisher out of it. His first appearance on Netflix. I love the beginning, the opening, the introduction to his character, where he's, you got that music playing and he's walking through the hospital. And for a good portion of time there, you don't see his face at all. He's all in shadow, and he's just laser and folk. So I've been trying to figure out what pieces that I can use to get this as close to what I want as possible. And there was a couple of different options. I seen a Rambo figure on Big Bad Toy Store, which would have provided me with the jeans, the belt, and a good base body. And it had a tank top, which I could have finagled the tank top to make it look like a t-shirt, so that wouldn't have been a huge deal. And then I seen another figure, I think was also from 3-0, which was a Frontline Chaos Low figure, whatever it is. But I eventually realized that he was probably too thin and the coat was too big. But I settled on this, which unfortunately was out of stock at Big Bad Toy Store, but I sat and I looked through all of their 1/12 scale figures, all the figures they had in their 1/12 scale section, to see if I could get any inspiration. And I found this, and I just had to get it because if I'm going to throw a picture up, but if you're looking to make Jon Bernthal's look from that first season, this is about as close as you get without completely parting everything out. I mean, it comes with a gray t-shirt, or a gray, I guess technically in the scene he's wearing a long sleeve, but it's a gray t-shirt. It comes with the military style vest or jacket, blue jeans. You do get some boots, although these aren't really what John's wearing. So I'm going to have to swap those out for something that I think will work out just a little bit better. Although you could paint these black and it wouldn't be a huge deal. The only problem that I really have is that this coat has a collar and little lapels here. And that's not what the jacket in the show looks like. And it's also not even what the jacket in this movie looks like. There's a 1/6 scale version of this figure from another company, and then like the actual look in the suit or the show, the jacket goes straight up. So that's kind of like your military style flight jacket, where there's not actually a collar, just goes straight up. So I wish that this would have followed that design, and also these little patches right here are a little bit different. It's not completely accurate, but it gets the overall idea across. So I'm gonna try to stop yapping so much. You do get an array of hands, which would be useful, so that's cool. You do get some guns. Get yourself a shotgun right here. Just one solid piece. And then you get yourself this bad boy right here, which has some nice detail on there. It's got the grenade launcher on there. Not too shabby. I definitely can use those, but that wasn't the focal point here. Now, just being straight out, straight up with my impressions, it does feel like kind of a flimsy body. So I'm probably going to replace the body. My two concerns are that Jon Bernthal's outfit in this series has his pants hiked up and he's got his shirt tucked in. I don't know if these pants are long enough to be able to do that. It's like a very short seam right there. And then also the jacket is gray, which is fine. I can just dye it. But you can take a look at that. Doesn't look too bad. Definitely see some Arnold in there. Looks pretty good. But again, that's not really what we were planning on doing. I'm going to do my best to try to get this to fit as nicely as possible. And also, he kind of looks like he has a turtleneck right now, which isn't ideal. But yeah, I'm kind of just looking at this through the viewfinder right now. I'm not getting a chance to really look at it for myself. This color right here is also a lot brighter on camera. It is much more of a darker brown. Like on camera, it looks actually like a olive green, but it's more of a brown in person. But yeah, I think this figure is really going to help me achieve what I want. So yeah, I do have the Mezco right here, and this is kind of where this whole idea stemmed from. I actually was on Big Bad Toy Store last Thursday, and I bought a V-Toys body, and I bought the Marvel Legends Talos figure, which has a very similar outfit to this, and I bought that with the purpose of making the first appearance of Netflix Punisher. And that one also works well because the figure has the head and neck are connected, so I can just pop off this head, because obviously this figure comes with two heads. So that was the initial plan, but I was like, I'd really like to do it in fabric. And I think I bought this on Saturday, and today is Friday, so it took a little bit to get here. But I think this is going to offer up a much more realistic look. Oop, that went flying. So let's see, here's the money shot. And that looks ridiculous. Alrighty, so a lot has happened since the last clip. I went back and forth with a few things. Here is get this off of here. Here's the body that the figure came with. This is the Arnold body. And I didn't really notice it right off the bat while I was looking through the viewfinder, but this is a pretty big figure. And once I compared it to the Netflix Punisher from Mezco, then I realized it's, as you can see, pretty big. So I did end up putting all the stuff on the Mezco body for the Punisher, and it actually looks pretty good. It does a pretty good job, and I will be replacing the body for that, so I figured why not. I did like it, But I did have another body that I wanted to try, which is this one. This one is the Halloween 2 Michael Myers body. I have a spare, and I figured it was a good opportunity to take advantage of these boots because I need these boots for the actual regular Punisher outfit. The problem is, I think these pants are a little bit short, and like we were having with this, same thing with this figure, the pants want to sit low, and the problem is I want the look. I want the pants to have the look that they have in the show, where they're kind of stacked, you know. It kind of adds some nice wrinkles like this, instead of being, you know, just straight up and down. Some natural wrinkles. It bags up at the legs, but then at the same time, I need the pants to be tucked in. So I'm having a hard time trying to figure out what to do here, and I can't really mix and match the pieces. Like, as you can see here, we have these kind of thicker legs, and these ones are thinner, and also there's a black suit that's going down the legs on this body, and I don't know if I want to take that off for this. And also I did do a little Tessa dye to the jacket to see if I could get it more gray, and it is definitely more of a gray. However, the kind of colors that we have here are almost opposite of what we want. We want the jacket to be lighter than the shirt, but they're still both gray, so that's a little annoying. If I was going to sacrifice, you know, one thing out of this, it probably would be the pants being as baggy as I want them. But I definitely want the pants to be tucked in, or the shirt to be tucked in at a certain height. I think that's overall more important for accuracy. But you can see they're just a little bit too short. The easiest thing to do would be to just trim off some of the calf and glue the boots higher. But I'm just not sure if I want to do some permanent stuff like that. Also, another thing is these shoulders are a little bit more narrow than these ones. So that allows the jacket to look a little bit more natural. Now, it's an even smaller body, but the jacket actually does look pretty big on John in the show. If I was going to actually modify anything, it would be just to get these arms further down, because as it is right now, he's got 3 layers of fabric under his armpits. So if I take the black off, that will help, but then also maybe just a little bit trimming. So yeah, there's just a little clip on that so you guys can kind of see where I'm at. I'm also thinking about sewing the shirt around the crotch to keep it tucked in, kind of like a onesie. Or a bib, like a child's onesie, whatever they're called. And then the pants, I have this exact same thread, so I was thinking about cutting these threads and then sewing it back tighter. I don't think I'll be able to get as much as I want it to be without getting a super big cut, like angle here. So I'm only going to do it a little bit, and then the rest I'll have to do from the back to get them to kind of sit how I want. So that's kind of what I'm going back and forth on right now. And I'm kind of measuring them right now to see, just zoom this out a little bit. I'm kind of measuring him right now to see how much I would sacrifice if I made him just a little bit shorter. If I was going to make him shorter, I really don't want to do it from the legs, even though I kind of need to, just because, you know, if I want this to be as realistic as possible, John Bernthal has longer legs than he does a torso. He's kind of got long arms and long legs. There's that one picture from season 2 where he's wearing the jeans and then the skull, and you can just see how long his legs are. And if you want it to be accurate, you kind of want to portray that. At least I do. That's something that I care about. But in terms of getting rid of the height, here you can see as compared to the Marvel Legends Daredevil, and you can see he is a bit taller. And here he is compared to a Mezco Daredevil that I've been working on. And you can see, put his head on there all the way. This is not done. I've been going back and forth on parts here, but you can see that he is. It looks worse than it is, but he's only a little bit taller. It's not too bad for the Mezcos, but for the Marvel Legends, he's a little bit out of scale, and he's only an inch taller than Daredevil. So I think also his head could sit down lower if you wanted it to, but I think we can take a little bit from his height and not lose too much. So I'm going to kind of figure out what I want to do, and then we'll come back. Alrighty, so as you can see, we have a pretty good mess going on here. This is the Michael Myers body. As you can see, it's actually... I do like the sculpt on here. It has a little bit more detail than what they normally do. I mean, it's not enough to really do anything with it, but also Mezco does have a habit of making people look fat for no reason. But, yeah. So here it is. And again, it definitely seems like it's a little bit taller. It's hard to tell exactly because the boots are longer on the Punisher figure, but that's not really relevant. So what we're going to do, and here's the, where to go? Here's the little onesie that was on him. I took that off to help. So what we're going to do is we're just going to sand the underneath of this. And as you can see, the figure doesn't need any help getting his arms down, but I essentially just want there to be room for the fabric. And in terms of like shortening him or swapping pieces between this to get his legs down lower, I'm not doing all that. With this figure, the boots are on a peg, or they're on a key. It's not a peg to swivel. These ones can swivel, but it doesn't need it because it has the ankle rotation, so it doesn't need a boot swivel. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim the legs down. That way I can have the pants kind of be baggy the way that I want. But if I throw them on here, you can see the pants are technically too big for this guy, but they still just don't go up the crotch enough. And, you'd only have so much to work with here. So not only am I going to make his legs just a little bit shorter, I'm not going to do too much, but just a little bit shorter. I'm also going to sand in here, which I probably won't keep the clip, but that's what I did to this body. I got rid of Arnold's manhood, but I realized that body was just too big in general. But we're going to do that. We're just going to trim this area right here, and we're going to trim this area right here so the pants can go up further. Because, again, this is just cut really low. And then we're going to see how that looks. I might just cut until I've made all these adjustments and I've sewn the shirt down just to save a little bit of time. Alrighty, here we are. Here is the shirt sewed down. I got it sewed between the legs, and I got it snatched in the back. Cinched in the back, I should say. Get the head on there easily enough. Doesn't really hit the collar. But the real test is the pants. I already unsnipped this, and as you can see, this is a pretty close color, so it should look okay when it's all said and done. I feel like that's a pretty solid height. And I got a nice bit of leg left over, a nice bit of pant leg left over. I feel like that's pretty solid. So I'm not going to be able to really do this on camera, but I'm going to go ahead and try to cinch these up. Not too much because I don't want, all of this to be in the front. I'm just going to pull it over just a little bit tighter than it was. And then the rest I'll do in the back to get it, you know, to fit naturally. So you're just going to have to try to use your imagination with this part because I can't really do it on camera that easily. Alrighty, so here we are. I think it looks pretty good. I had a little bit of hiccup with something, but it's not really relevant. I just forgot that I actually snapped off a wrist peg inside of this arm, which is why this body was out of commission for a while. So I had to figure that out. But in terms of getting it all sewed together with the shirt and the pants, I think everything looks really solid. I think the jacket definitely needs to get dyed one more time. I'm going to use some paint to kind of lighten it up just with a dry brushing technique. But I think that the jacket's still a little bit brown. It looks like a dark gray in some lighting, but then in other lighting, it just kind of looks like brown. And on camera, it looks brown. It definitely looks more brown on camera than it does in person. But I think this came out pretty good. I think the jeans look good. I'm not very happy about these belt loops being uneven, but that is what it is. You're not really going to see that once it's all said and done. But I'm really liking this jacket. I would say the one thing I'm not a fan of is I think these arms are longer. Yeah, they're definitely a bit longer. I liked the fact that the jacket hung over the hands a little bit before, because that's how it looks in the show. These are just kind of little nitpicky details that don't really matter, but kind of add to the overall accuracy, in my opinion. I am considering some other ideas to get this to kind of look as natural as possible. But I think just to kind of give a rundown of what we need to do now, the important things are I got to add a belt, and I've tried to gather around some ideas to see if I can make one myself or if I'll get one. I don't really know on that, but the other things are the boots need to be painted black and added some little scuff detailing. They were initially black, but I did some detailing to make them more accurate to Halloween 2. So I got to get rid of those. Maybe do some paint work on the pants. The pockets, I mean, the jacket is fine if you don't really care about moving forward with anything like that. Like, these are inaccurate, but I don't care about that. But, like, the buttons, the snaps, they can be popped off and then just add one in the center. Those are little things that could add some more detail. And then also, there's a name, or there's a patch here for a name. You can't really see a name on it in the show, but there is a patch right there. And then he's also got like a pin on his jacket right here, which I might add if I'm feeling frisky, I don't know. But I just wanted to show you the overall proportions so far. So yeah, I think this looks pretty solid. I think if you didn't want to do anything else, just to do enough, I mean, obviously just throwing the clothes on there is fine, but if you want to do enough just to make it fit him a little bit better, this is kind of where to go. But I think if there's a way to anchor this jacket down just a little bit, just to get it to sit a little bit more naturally, that would be the next step. But yeah, whole lot of yapping going on. I'll probably just do a time lapse of me doing some of these other little details, and then that'll probably be it. Alrighty, guys. So I haven't quite decided if I'm going to make this clip its own video or add it as a part of the video that I'm currently working on with this guy. I have a few things going on right now, and I don't have a whole lot of time, so I guess we'll just act as if this is its own video, and then I can take care of that later. We have a mask over here that I'm working on for a customer. Don't worry about the paint job. I'm doing something, trying to do something a little bit different, or a mix between things that I already do. And then over here, I got a couple of Daredevil Born Again figures that I just dyed. These are going to be Shadowland style figures for some customers, so stay tuned for that. I have another one coming here shortly. But the reason I was thinking about putting these as a part of the Punisher video is because they have some relevance to Punisher. So this one right here is a package from eBay. And, you know what? Go with the easier side. It's very relevant to a project that I will be working on after this. Unfortunately, Amazon has awful tape. Unfortunately, these are like a couple of different things related to Punisher, but none of them really go together. It's all separate projects. So here's the first thing. As you can see, it is a loose figure. I would love to get one in the box, but if I get one in the box, I probably wouldn't want to take it out. So, oh my goodness. The level of protection is off the charts. Oh, that's a little bit too much. So we got this guy right here. And also, please don't mind the mess. Like I said, I got a few things I'm working on. Here he is. First time in the collection. This is the original Netflix Punisher. Yeah, I have some plans for this head. And you might be thinking, well, why would you have plans for the head? This is arguably the worst John Bernthal likeness that you can get currently. Like, just for comparison, here it is compared to the Mezco one. I think the Marvel Legends figure does do some things better than the Mezco one. I don't have my new Punisher down here right now, but in terms of, like, the hairstyle, I've said this in previous videos, I prefer both of these hairstyles over the having it longer and then slicked back, which is what you see more and more with this version of Punisher. This is a head sculpt I'm going to be using for a specific project, and I'll figure out what I'm going to do with the body because I would hate to put it to waste. But clearly this is based off the finale of Daredevil Season 2, and he doesn't even have this hairstyle in that scene. So I'm going to try to figure out something a little bit different. I might not use this body for anything, but I definitely wanted the head, and I figured if I was going to get the head, I might as well get the body. And then he does come with his accessories. I do want this gun because he does use this gun in a few important scenes. So moving on from that, zooming it back out. Apologies for possibly giving you whiplash with all this camera movement. Let's take a look at the Big Bad Toy Store box. And at first glance, these things might seem like they're not relevant to Punisher at all. But trust me, they do. I was under the impression this was going to get delivered by DHL, but it came in through my mail, which didn't say it was going to do that. So first up here we have a Marvel Legends Talos, and then more intriguing, we have my first like blank body ever. Well, I bought some for 1/6 scale figures, but this is the first blank body that I've intentionally bought for a 1/6 scale figure, or a 1/12 scale figure. And as you can see, it's the V Toys. It is the 3MS figure body 1VB002. I don't know what is actually the name of it. I'm assuming it's this. So yeah, 15 and up. Now the reason I bought this is because now some people might think this is probably a little bit silly, but I find it very important. Let me go ahead and cut this real quick so I can get it closer. Okay, so jumping forward. Whoa, this guy's pretty tall. So jumping forward a little bit, as you can see, these are the two figures. I got the Talos first. I ordered these. Today is Monday, like the 27th or something like that. I don't remember what day it is exactly. But so we just had a Thursday that passed. I bought these the Thursday before that. So it's been a week and a few days. When I ordered these, I was able to get this guy for about $45. I don't know if that's retail or not, but I figured it was a good enough price for what I need. He feels pretty good. I don't really have any I don't really have any other examples to pull from other than like official bodies, but like this is meant to be covered, so this doesn't look as good as this. Speaking of this, this is the Mezco Punisher body. And the reason I bought this is because I want to replace my Mezco Punisher figure with this body. And you can see in terms of width, he's pretty comparable. In terms of his overall physique, he's a little bit thinner, but it's not really that important because he's got a vest. The thinness of the legs, if anything, I think helps add to the bagginess of the pants. But if it's too thick or too thin, then obviously we can switch some things out. In terms of the legs being a little bit long, they come with some interchangeable parts, which you can see right there. And that chops off a lot of his leg, and I should be able to bring him down to a normal height. He's also got some boots and some swappable parts for the forearms. But speaking of the forearms, that's exactly why I want this guy. Because my favorite look for Jon Bernthal's Punisher is when he's wearing the all-black getup and he's got his sleeves rolled up. And you cannot do that with this figure. First of all, the sleeves the arms are all dyed and they look bad. I apologize if there's not great lighting right now. It's all of a sudden it's looking a little bit dark. But they don't have great forearms, and there's no detail, and they're super thin this way. So I don't like that. These ones have good enough detail, something that I can work with. They have a decent thickness. They're not too thick, not too thin, I don't think. But I think either way it's going to be better. As far as this goes, this was $10. And the reason I bought this is because, well, I wanted to make this. And this is still a work in progress, but I wanted to make this, and then I was like, after I already bought this, I was thinking that I wanted to like make it out of actual clothes. So I ordered the figure that I needed for this, which if this is in the same video that this is a part of, then obviously you know the context for that. But this, I didn't think it was going to really do it for me, but I bought it for $10. He does wear this kind of outfit, for quite a period of time in the show. So I can definitely do this he wears this outfit when he's got hair that's shorter than this. And then he wears it again when he's got hair that's the length of this. And then also he wears something similar to this in Daredevil or Punisher Season 2. So I can work around with it. My least favorite thing about this is the proportions. He's got really narrow shoulders, very tight. The pants are very tight, and there's no... So, the pants are really tight on the thighs, and then they're really tight on the legs, or the lower legs, but they're the same thickness. So it looks ridiculous. The pants don't, bow out or they don't get wider, like boot cut or anything like that to make it look more natural. And then he's got these super big boots. So I have a few ideas on how to fix this, make this look a little bit more natural. And then also one of the benefits of this figure is that it's got a neck and head that are connected. So that's why I thought it was going to work for this, because that's what this guy has. He's got a neck and head that are connected. So, with a little bit of a modification, right now it doesn't look great. But with a little bit of a modification, it could probably work out well enough. And then even if I wasn't able to get anything to really work on this guy, then I have a civilian body. And there's other things you can use this for. Like I could use this coat for Vigilante, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, or I don't know. There's a few different kind of characters that wear a coat like this. So yeah, even Punisher or Daredevil wears something similar to this in Daredevil Season 3 when he's walking around, although his has a hood. So yeah, I don't know. But there's options here. The main goal was this. So as I said, these three things have no connection to each other. I didn't really want this clip to be 10 minutes, but these three things have no connection to each other other than they're meant for Punisher customs. So there's a lot of swapping around that can go on here. This is a body for the Mezco. This was meant to be that kind of first appearance from Season 2 like this. And then the head's going to be used for something completely different. And it's going to be used for something to where the lack of likeness isn't going to be super noticeable. The reason I use quotations is because I don't think either one of these heads are perfect, although I think this is a beautiful piece of artwork. They're both lacking in some sense. I think the best Punisher head sculpt that we've gotten is the new Marvel Legends one. And also that one, you know, the hair is a little bit too big. But yeah, looks like he's got a little bit of a loose leg here. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that in. We got some cool customs coming in the works. Obviously, you know, again, if this is a part of the video I'm working on this, which I don't want it to be like 45 minutes long, which it looks like it might be because of me rambling on. But, you know, I got this one that I'm working on. This one will have its own video, and I might use this body for what I plan on doing to it. And then this one, you know, it doesn't really... I do need to do some paint work, but it doesn't really require a whole talk through. It could probably be a shorter video. But yeah, so the point being, there's stuff to come. Alrighty guys, so this last clip right here is being filmed on a Halloween day. So I want to say to you folks, if you are watching this on Halloween, happy Halloween. That's probably when it will get uploaded. But I want to say, I'm going to go ahead and say that we're pretty much done with this guy. I have a few other things that I want to do down the road, but as of right now, I think he's done. I think he's good enough to put on the shelf and set aside until I have some other things that I want to do to him. There's some things like, making his 5 o'clock shadow a little bit heavier. When he first wears this outfit, he's got a little bit more scruff on his face, and maybe adding the accurate kind of bruises and stuff like that based on that scene. The only reason I'm hesitant to do that right now is because I haven't really decided if I'm going to keep this head on it or use the alternate head. So I want to keep my options right now open. Also, maybe adding some detail to the fists like that. I still don't have a belt, as you can see. And those are some of the main ones. I did say that I wanted to find a way to anchor this down. And I don't really want to use glue, because glue will probably just come right through the vest, or right through the coat, and that won't look good. But I mean, as you can see, that just kind of already adds a lot of realism, just doing it like that. It just kind of makes it look like this outfit fits him a little bit better. I have a few other thoughts, but I don't know if they're really going to work out. But yeah, so just some minor details, the belt, stuff like that, will really bring this guy full circle. I did kind of get rid of some of the detailing I had on here, but I didn't want to get rid of it fully. There was the nutmeg stripe running through here, which wouldn't be accurate for what he's wearing, so I got rid of that. But in terms of the details in the laces and the eyelets, they should be all black because he's just wearing regular combat boots, but I just decided to give it a wash just to minimize the detail instead of getting rid of it entirely, just because I feel like I'm more happy with that. I don't want to do all that work beforehand and then get rid of it. So yeah, I think overall I'm very happy with this guy. I think he looks close enough. The jacket's a little bit inaccurate. As you can see, I took off all the buttons and I put the one in the center and then painted them black. If you want this to be even more accurate, this side shouldn't have the buttons. It should be this side, but I didn't care enough to do that. And then he's also got the patch that he needs right here, which I thought was a name tag, which I've seen. If you watch Rambo, he's wearing a very similar jacket, and that has the U.S. Army patch on this side, I believe. And that's what I thought it was, something similar to that has his name on it. But apparently it's just, if you look at the make and model that they used for the show, it's just a branding. They covered up the brand logo, but it's where the branding is. I don't know what I'm going to use for that right now. But as of right now, this is pretty much done. As you can see, I think it looks pretty awesome. It's close enough to the details that we see in the show. It's not 100% perfect, but I'm pretty happy with it. I just wanted to go ahead and get this video done. That way I can move on to some of my other projects. I have some orders I have to fill, and then I also have some other Punisher customs that I'm working on. And then also I picked up a couple of stuff from one of my semi-local comic shops. I got this face-off Daredevil. Unfortunately, he's missing the Billy Clubs, but I got him for a good price. 10 years Red Skull, which I would like to use for a video, and I think this is something that'll be pretty different on the channel. I figured I'd go ahead and grab him since I have the World War II Mafex cap, even though it's based off the Golden Age suit. And then I also, just to show you guys one more thing, I had this one. This is the, I think this is the, what do they call it? The running change or whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. The variant. And then this is the main one. So I was able to pick up the main one, and it looks pretty good. I like it a lot. I think I like this face more than the other one. I like Bullseye having a crazy face, but this one just kind of looks like a monkey to me. And I think I've heard somebody else say that before too, but I'm not sure. And then also, I'll show you another thing. I got this bad boy. So that was pretty cool. Picked up some good stuff at the local collectible shop. But yeah, as for right now, this guy's done. And there's a little bit of a process video to show you guys how you can create this if you want to. I mean, if you want to do it on just a basic Marvel Legends body, then the Talos figure works out just fine. It's got the boots, the pants, it's got the jacket. This isn't the jacket that's on it. It's the... Sorry about that. It's this one, which is close enough. In some sense, it's more accurate than this because it has the appropriate collar and stuff like that. It has a zipper detailing on both sides. It has the buttons on this side. Well, actually, it looks like it has buttons on both sides. So this is probably supposed to replicate snaps. But yeah, so, you know, whichever way you want to go, I opted to go with this because I feel like it looks a lot more realistic. And also, I have my Mezco Daredevils, and they're all clothed. So I figured I'd go with the clothed option. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I'll probably do another video down the line of a full showcase just to show you guys what it looks like and get a little bit more in depth. But I'll do that after I get the figure completed. So that's the plan for that. If you guys liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe, notification bell. All that would be greatly appreciated if you decide to do so. And of course, until next time, true believers.